Every day's a miracle. Remember through the highs and lows, each of us a masterpiece in God's gallery. One by one, day by day, time goes on and we all change. Lessons learned, beauty found. We live on, He shows us how. We're here for something great. We all offer something new. All His creations do. Every day's a miracle. Remember through the highs and lows, each of us a masterpiece in God's gallery. Black and white, red and blue, your life's always up to you. We fall down, but we rise. Keep your sights up on the sky. We're here for something great. We all offer something new. All His creations do. Every day's a miracle. Remember through the highs and lows, each of us a masterpiece in God's gallery. Happy to be made with love. He watches the growth inside our hearts. Precious streaks of pain make art, a tapestry of light in God's gallery. Happy to be made with love. He watches the growth inside our hearts. Precious streaks of pain make art, a tapestry of light in God's gallery. Every day's a miracle. Remember through the highs and lows, each of us a masterpiece in God's gallery. In God's gallery. In God's gallery.
Isn't that song so beautiful? Each of us a masterpiece in God's gallery. Each of us a masterpiece. I don't know if you're impressed by that. Reverend Ellen would say, you're not properly impressed. Each of us a masterpiece. That means that you are perfect as you are. I am so glad that you're here. I'm Reverend Sherry James. I don't have my words together. I am Reverend Sherry James, and I am the senior minister of this incredible, growing, expanding community. And I'm so glad that you chose to spend this day with us. And so I just want to encourage you. I want to tell you that if this is your first time here, you are going to have an amazing time. I also want to encourage you to share this service with your friends. Right now, you can hit the share button, and we're on YouTube, so you can send it almost anywhere, to Instagram, to Facebook, YouTube. I don't know if you can do TikTok. I'm not sure. I'm not up on the TikTok thing. But you can send it and share with friends. Tell somebody about this. I also want to encourage you to get involved in the live chat. If you are watching and you're doing this on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific with us, then you want to be in the live chat, because that's where the action is happening. All right, let's take a moment to open this service in prayer. Would you pray with me? Father, Mother God, we open our hearts and our minds to your teaching. We know that we are champions at the core of our being. That you put us here so that we may transform ourselves back into you. That we may wake up an awareness that we are you in expression, and our purpose is to embody you in every aspect of our lives. And so right here, right now, we just ask for that transformation. We ask to be awakened to our divine nature. May something sung, something said, something done convince us of our divinity so that we may move forward on the call on our spirit. I thank you, God. I thank you. I bless all of the families that are gathered here today. I bless each one to be a center of positive influence right where they are, right in their families. I bless them to be peace, to be harmony, right where there may seem to be discord. I thank you, God, that you have made us change agents of good. May we take this message out into the world and share this message of oneness, of divine oneness. Thank you. I know you hear me when I pray. And so I relax. I allow this prayer to become so. And so it is. I am really glad that you are here. I am glad that you are spending this time with us. And I want to tell you about our spiritual community. I want to let you know who we are and where we come from. We are the living legacy of the Reverend Dr. Della Reese-Lett. We are the people that she shared her understanding of God with in her lifetime. And we have taken this message of divine oneness and we are carrying it around the world. We have a vision. Let me share that with you. Our vision is to love every person up to their true identity and to their highest potential for the greater good of all. And we're on a mission. We are on a mission to express God's divine love through teaching spiritual principles, worship services, fellowship activities, and community outreach. And our theme this year is Break Every Chain. Break every chain. And my message today is entitled, Always Do Your Best. We are wrapping up our series based on Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, and we are talking about always do your best. To get ready for that, let's take a moment to slow down and have a brief meditation. For today's meditation, we're going to slow it down and really sit with the idea of always doing your best. And as we relax, I want you to imagine that all of the things that interfere with you doing your best are now dissolved back into the nothingness from whence they have come. And so if you will position yourself, we'll put an image on the screen and you can feast your eyes on that, or you can simply close them. And just relax. Always do your best. Always do your best. As you relax into this present moment, any fears that keep you from doing your best now surface. And you're able to embrace them and love them and dissolve them. Whatever resistance comes up to doing your best, you simply love that and bless that so that it may leave. Take a deep breath. The healing presence now moves through you, dissolving, erasing, eliminating anything that stands in the way of you giving or doing your best. you, Spirit. The healing presence of God now flows through you, removing any obstacles. Take a deep breath. As you relax, you feel yourself becoming more and more open to life. Take another deep breath. Thank you, Spirit. As we bring this moment of quiet to a close, we give thanks. We give thanks that right within ourselves, we have the ability to be renewed. Right within ourselves, we have the ability to be rejuvenated. And it's free. It's a free gift of Spirit. Thank you. Let's enjoy the service.
Thank you, Reverend Sherri, for that wonderful meditation. And now it's time for us to welcome all of our new friends. Up Church is a growing spiritual community, and our doors are always open to those who are ready to live a healthier, happier, and more prosperous life. My name is Marjorie Briscoe, and I am a member of Up Church. Thank you for connecting with us today, and we want to know that you're out there. So please type your name and your favorite I am statement right here in the live chat so that we know that you're with us. For example, I am Marjorie and I am confidence. We invite you to grow spiritually with us, and if you would like to make Up Church your spiritual home, please email upchurch@upchurch.org. and we'll respond with your next steps. I see those of you checking in. We thank you so much for joining us. I see someone checking in as I am love. I see I am peace. I am health. I am wealth. Great. And most of all, I see the Christ in all of you. Once again, we also invite you all to complete a virtual Connect card so that we can stay connected. The virtual Connect card is in the show notes, and you can find the Google form link there.
Hi, my name is Maimona Njai, and I'm going to be reading the Daily Inspiration for October 25th. Check your prayer connection. When we have an item that needs electricity to operate, we plug its cord into a wall outlet. But when we turn it on and there is no response, we check the outlet and we may even check the circuit breaker. However, on more careful examination, we discover the wires within the cord itself are broken. This may be the case when we pray and expect an immediate response that does not come because the connection may be broken. God is still there, but our thought pattern is frayed and damaged. Perhaps we were praying, believing we are not worthy or entitled to the desire, or not expecting our prayer to be answered. Further, our method or actual prayer may have been out of sync with God's mind. The unbroken connection comes with knowing that God is the source and that as children of God, we are entitled to all that is God. So, repair your connection by changing your style of prayer, thereby opening the way to receive. The heartfelt and persistent prayer of a religious man, believer, can accomplish much. James 5:16.
Now, let's get ready for our affirmation of power. First, I will recite the entire affirmation, then you'll see it on the screen, Then I ask you to join me in repeating after me our affirmation of power. Ready? Let's do it. I am excited because I know that God created me on purpose for a divine purpose. And it thrills me to know that God needs me. I am on fire for my divine assignment. My soul cries out, yes, God. Yes, I can. And yes, I will. Hallelujah. Won't you join me? Repeat after me. I am excited because I know that God created me on purpose for a divine purpose. And it thrills me to know that God needs me. I am on fire for my divine assignment. My soul cries out, yes, God. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Hallelujah.
Hi, my name is Daryl Crooks, and I'm part of the worship team. What I've learned a lot is there are people that at the church that have, I guess we have like minds. What I mean by like minds, positive, being, very positive with life itself. And it just validate more confirmation on how I think and the way I feel about life. There are more people like me. And while I'm in the service, I'm always off to the side or whatever, look like I'm doing something, but I actually learn a lot. Sherri is a great teacher, and it'd be nice if she come and maybe do a tour and visit other churches and spread the word, the positivity, positive word. I'm feeling that, yeah. And then we get to tour and go all over the world and go to other countries and spread the word. Wow, that would be great. Wow, I can't wait to do that. Wonder why I wear the love hat? I just don't wear it for fashion. I am trying to spread the love. Let me tell you a little story. My love hat really works for me. One Christmas, I was at my mom's house, and I had to rush to the store to buy, I think, some vegan cheese. And I got there just when the store was closing. There was another guy in front of me. And the security guard said, well, I'm sorry, we're closed. And then I'm going like, what can I say to this guy? Really let me in. I got really just cheese. As soon as I walked up and the other guy walked away, he said, hey man, you come on in. And I go like, wow. He said, yeah, it's because of your love hat. Hey, it's all about the love. I'm telling you, love, you can't deny the love. And the other thing that I like to share, people always ask, how you doing, Daryl? And my thing I always say, as long as I have peace of mind and good health, I'm doing just great. And that, I'm for real about that, because without the peace, it's hard to function. You can have all the money, you can have everything, but with no peace, it's just hard to function. Even your health could be a little low, but if you can maintain your peace, you'll be able to function with bad health. But of course, your salvation have to be intact, But in closing, I want to say thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to fellowshipping really soon. And keep the love. Love, 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 love. I know I'm not a singer. Okay.
shattered, but I'm not broken. Wounded, time will heal. Heavy the load, the cross I bear. Lonely the road I trod, I dare. Shaken, but here I stand. Weary, still I press on. Long are the nights, the tears I cry. Dark are the days, no sun in the sky. Yet still I rise, never to give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise high above the clouds. At times I feel low, yet still I rise. Sometimes I'm troubled, but not in despair. Struggling, I make my way through. Trials, they come to make me strong. I must endure, I must hold on. Yet still I rise, never to give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise high above the clouds. At times I feel low, yet still I rise above all my problems, above all my eyes can see. Knowing God is able to strengthen me, to strengthen me, and still I rise.
Thank you, worship team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Family, I just stopped by today to remind you that no obstacle has the power to hold you back. Nothing external to you has power over you. I picked this series because we're in an election season. And I don't know about you, but sometimes the things that I see out into the world have some kind of impact. They make me feel some kind of way. Sometimes I forget that nothing external to me has power over me. Sometimes the obstacles in my path look bigger than something I can overcome. Sometimes the atrocities of the world are so big and so vast that when I look at them, they scare me. And I have to labor in prayer to bring myself back into my right mind. And so I don't know, this may not be true for you. I'm just telling you what I've got to do. And so, the reason that I picked this series is because we're in this election season. And even though we have visited Don Miguel Ruiz's material before, sometimes it's good to just kind of go back to fundamentals and remind yourself of what you already know. Sometimes you got to crack open those books that you already read and go back and read it one more time, just to remind yourself. Because in the next week and a half, we are going to complete this voting season. And we very literally are in the battle for the soul of our nation. And which consciousness shall prevail? Nobody knows. Literally, we're all watching with bated breath. And so I thought it was a really good time to go back to fundamentals, because fundamentals don't care who's in the White House. Fundamentals only care, are you walking in a line? Are you doing the fundamentals? Right? Are you doing the basics? Because the basics are going to get you success. I don't care what the external conditions look like. And so I had to remember that, hey, you teach principle, and principle works everywhere. Principle does not work in some conditions and not in others. Principle works. The only thing principle cares about is, are you thinking and acting and feeling and speaking in alignment with it? Are you? Then great. You're doing good. And so no one is kept poor because opportunity has been taken away from him. No one can monopolize opportunity. Nobody can put a neat little fence around opportunity and keep it from you. And the reason that they can't do that is because opportunity is from God. And since opportunity is from God, that means it's like God. And since it's like God, that means that it's everywhere evenly present. That means that there is no spot where opportunity is not. And so no one is held back or kept in poverty by some external man-made rules. No one is kept back because of some shortness in the supply of riches. There is more than enough for all. The visible supply is practically inexhaustible, and the invisible supply actually is. Everything that you see out in the material world came from one primordial substance. And this substance, no one can influence or change or affect your ability to use it. As long as you agree with it and think in accord with the laws of God, you may use it to create whatever forms you desire. We erroneously think that someone can keep something from us or keep us from having something, but that is untrue. What they can do is capture your imagination, but even that still requires your agreement. And so we have to have the sheer gall to think bigger than the obstacles that sit before us. When someone attempts to hold something back from you, what they erroneously assume is that they got a hand on all the good that there is. But the truth is that I live in an abundant universe. Nobody has their hand on all the good that there is. And so while you're over here holding court, as long as my attention is on the stuff that you're holding court on, then I really can believe that you got a handle on everything. But as Reverend Johnny Coleman would say, there's gold dust in the air. And the way that I access this gold dust and I turn it into usable forms for myself is that I've got to make some new and better agreements with myself. Sometimes people who are living under an oppressive regime think that the way through is to small themselves up. If I make myself small enough, I won't draw attention to me and they won't attack me. If I make myself small enough, then I won't draw the ire of the oppressive class. And I imagine that the Jews living in occupied Rome during the time of Jesus probably felt that way. They probably, at any moment their lives could be taken from them. The Romans were callous and heinous with them. They were capricious in their dealings with we call it Israelites, but the Jews living in occupied Palestine. And the threat of being crucified hung in the balance. Any day you could be wrongfully accused of something, and your life could be taken like that. And so sometimes when you're living in that kind of environment, the response is to make yourself small. But I came to tell you that that is not the way of God. Because increase is the rule of the universe. Life in the mere act of living must increase itself. Life by living multiplies itself. It is continually becoming more, and it must do so if it continues to be at all. Nothing grows down. Everything grows up and out. And so if you see something that's growing down or growing in, you know that that thing is dying. Increase is the rule of the universe. What you have to do is to have the faith that is required so that you may draw to you the things that are yours, and that you set up the very laws of the universe in your favor to protect the good that you draw to yourself. God desires to give you everything that you want. In fact, you couldn't want the things that you want if God didn't first want them through you. Before it was your dream, it was God's dream. Nature is friendly to your plans. Everything is naturally for you. But what you have got to do is to make up your mind that this is true. And so that's what those first three agreements are about. They are about making up your mind that everything is working for you and nothing is against you. Your way of doing things is the direct result of the way you think about things. The way you do things is a direct result of the way that you think about things. And so to set up the life the way you want it to be, you will need to learn to think rightly. This will be your first step toward living the life that God has planned for you. And so to think rightly is to think the truth regardless of appearances. Every person has the ability to do this, but every person does not do this because it's far easier to think in agreement with the appearances that you see. But to think the truth, regardless of appearances, requires you to take back the power. To think health when you are surrounded by disease, or to think riches in the midst of an appearance of poverty or lack, requires power. And you have the power, but you got to decide to use it. The person who does do this acquires this power, and they become a master mind because they first mastered their mind, and then they have the ability and mastery over the elements of the universe. The person who has mastered their mind has conquered their fate, and they can have whatever it is that they choose. And so the first three agreements are about the internal positioning, about positioning your mind right so that you are in position to become a mastermind. And so the first agreement is you got to become impeccable with your word. You have got to be flawless in the use of your outer word and your inner word. And we gave you a very easy way to do that with the 30 Days of Self-Love Tracker, which you can still download, that we gave that to you so that you are able to become flawless in the use of your word. The more that you love you, the better the words are that come out of your mouth. And the second thing we showed you was don't take things personally. Basically, get out of your feelings. Whatever it is that somebody is saying or doing to you is really not about you. It is only about what it is that they're eating off of their psychological and emotional plate. And so if they bring you hate, that just tells you the food that they're eating. If they bring you drama, that just tells you the food that they're eating. And so you don't need to take it personally. If it touches you emotionally, you need to say thank you. Because what they have done is pointed your attention to a place where you needed some healing. And so you go back to that 30 days of self-love and you use self-love to dissolve those emotional triggers. You can love yourself to such a degree that you completely dissolve and blot out the emotional triggers that people step on right now. The third agreement that you need to make is don't make assumptions. Come to each moment open for the miracle that God has uniquely prepared for you. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know that at every moment of every day, God has a fresh miracle waiting for you. You've never been to this moment. And so what you want to do is make sure that you don't close the door on the miracle by making an assumption. You want to train your mind to run best case scenarios so that you may stay open and to stop running worst case scenarios. Learn to think that everything is happening for me and nothing is against me. And so this is about your internal thinking. Life, God wants to come through you in a bigger way. Everything in life is conspiring for your success. There is a thinking stuff, this divine cookie dough. That's what Reverend Della called it, this divine cookie dough from which all things are made. And in its original state, it permeates, penetrates, and fills all of the nooks and crannies of the universe. It's everywhere. You cannot escape it. And when we think, we literally project our thoughts into this cookie dough. And a thought projected into this cookie dough or this substance produces a form that matches the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by projecting your thought upon formless substance, you can cause things to be that have never been. Back in the day, we used to have this thing called the landline. You remember that? And what you connected to the landline was the phone. And this phone had a single use. You could pick it up and call. And if you really got fancy, you had what they call two-way or three-way calling, where you could form a party line on your phone. And then an imagination came along and saw a different use and had the idea of what if this thing that we call a phone was not tethered to our house, but we have the ability to use it out in the street. And now there are people with cell phones that have no home lines. It required an imagination to think differently. You have the ability to project into formless substance that which has never been, and all of the forces of the universe will conspire to bring the thing that you saw in your mind into expression. And so these first three agreements are about cleaning up the way that you think, because what you want is that the projections that you make into formless substance, you want it to bring you what you do want and not what you don't want. Thought is the creative power, or the impelling force that makes divine mind get to moving on your behalf. In other words, you get to thinking and God gets to acting. But I want to wrap up this to say the thinking is not the only piece. There's another part. Thinking is one half of the equation. You got to also take some action. And this is where a lot of people fall down. They are really good with the thinking, but they have a failure to connect thinking with personal action. You must not only think, but you got to back it up with personal action. Personal action is the essential piece of the equation of bringing your good into expression. And so your thinking brings it to you, but your acting makes you a receptacle for it. Thinking brings it to you, acting makes you a proper receiver for it. And so you want to put your whole self into present action. Put your whole self into present action. And I want to stress present action, because you cannot act where you are not. You cannot act where you have been, and you cannot act where you are going. You can only act where you are right now. And so don't bother as to whether yesterday's work was well done or ill done. Do today's work well. Don't try to do tomorrow's work now. Do today's work. There'll be plenty of time to do tomorrow's work when you get there. Don't wait for a change of environment before you act. Change your environment by acting. In fact, you have the ability to act in such a way right where you are that you will cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. And you know how you do that? Always do your best. Always do your best. This is the fourth agreement. Begin to do what you can do where you are. Do what you can do where you are, and do all that you can do right where you are. Max out where you are, because you can only advance by becoming larger than your present place. No person is larger than their present place who leaves undone any work related to where they are right now. The world moves forward because of people who fill up their present place. And you know this. Why does a child get new clothes? Because they have filled up, they have outgrown the clothes they have. When a plant grows to a certain stage and you have to move it to a bigger pot, why is that so? Because it has outgrown the pot that it is in. Too many people never move forward in life because they never outgrow their current place in life. They never outgrow the gossip. And so if there's gossip happening, they got an ear ready for it. Some people never outgrow the drama. Soon as the drama gets started, they put the gloves on and get into it. Some people never outgrow not having enough. And so they live their entire lives living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, because they never outgrow not having enough. Some people never outgrow being sick. And so they go from one illness to the next illness, to the next illness, to the next illness. Whatever it is that you desire to be rid of, you got to outgrow. Whatever it is you need to be rid of, you first have to outgrow. And the way you outgrow it is by always doing your best. Make every day a successful day. Make every day a successful day, because every day is either a successful day or it is a day of failure. And so it is the successful days that help you outgrow where you are, and it's the failures that keep you in your comfort zone. Doing your best means that if there is something that may be done today, you do it. Don't put off for tomorrow what needs to be done today. The consequences of not doing your best is that you make your home in a comfort zone. You can't see all of the repercussions of even the most trivial act that you do or don't do. You don't know the working of all the forces that God has set in motion on your behalf. There are things that God is doing right now on your behalf because of acts and thoughts that you have taken, right? But so much is riding on you doing what needs to be done in this moment. And the thing that you do in this moment may be the very thing that flings open the door of possibility. You can never know the infinite combinations that supreme intelligence is making for you in the world of things and of human affairs. And then by the very thing that you don't do, the thing that you put off for tomorrow that could be done today, an opportunity that could walk through the door in this moment has to wait until you're willing to go ahead and do it. And so do every day all that can be done that day. And to be clear, I am not telling you to overwork yourself or to try to get the greatest number of things done in the shortest amount of time. You're not trying to do tomorrow's work today or to try to do a whole week's work in one day, because it's really not about the number of things that you do. It is about the efficiency of each separate action that counts. And every act in itself is either a success or it is a failure. When you go to brush your teeth, you're either successful at it or you fail at it. Do you rush through it and half clean the teeth, or do you take your time and clean them thoroughly? Each act, what makes it efficient, what makes it successful is that it's efficient, that it is completed. Every act in itself is either efficient or inefficient. And so the way that you do your best is that you commit yourself to only do successful, efficient acts. The personal action that you take. This is what's important, is that you want to start a thing and follow it all the way through to completion. And so many times we get started and then we stop halfway. Well, that's a failed, inefficient act. And so you want to carry the task all the way from beginning all the way through to the end, because what you are doing is you are giving your best. You want to see a thing all the way through. But I will tell you that sometimes there are things we don't want to do our best because we don't know if the end result will be what we want it to be, right? So what if I put myself out here, I go all the way out, and things don't work out the way that I desire them to? What if that happens? What if I don't get what it is that I'm striving for? And this is where you have to detach from the outcome. You control the harvest by controlling the seed. You control the harvest by controlling the seed. And so you have to give your full attention to planting. Give your full attention to planting. Sometimes we thwart our outcome because we want to know what the harvest will be before we make a full investment. You do not do your best for an immediate reward. You do your best because you are seeking to outgrow your present circumstances. And when you outgrow your present circumstances, you make yourself a bigger vessel for God to express through. I want you to keep in mind that your best is subjective. And no one can tell you what your best is. Only you, and you know within yourself. If you don't give your best, you kind of know, you feel it kind of like in your side, like a little nudge. You know when you've given your best. So you're not looking for an external opinion on, is this my best effort? But your best is subjective, right? Because everything is alive and changing all the time. And so sometimes your best is a super high quality, but sometimes your best is just not as good. There are days when, I go to the gym and I am showing out. I'm lifting everything. I'm on the treadmill, the elliptical. I'm in the workout class. By the time I leave, I'm like, woo, I did it. And then sometimes it's just about showing up. And so you've got to know what is your best for that day and know that every day may not be a show out day. Some days might just be a show up day. The point is to leave nothing undone that can be done. Leave nothing undone that can be done. So if you are in your sick bed, maybe all that can be done is for you to dial on the phone and order you some food, right? So your best is subjective, but your objective is to give vent to the Spirit. Your object, the reason that you're reaching for your best every day, no matter what is happening, is that you're trying to give vent to the Spirit, because God is life and God is life in action. And so the best way to say, I love you, God, is not to simply say, I love you, God. It is to live your life doing your best. Every time you do your best, what you are saying is, God, I want you to come through me in a bigger way. And so I'm bringing everything that I have to this present moment so that I can outgrow where I am. And I know that when I outgrow where I am, you can shine through me in a bigger way. Simone Biles. I told y'all know I'm a sports fan, but I'm really an excellence fan. If you go back to some of those early tapes, pre even 2016, and look at Simone Biles, there is no question that God is expressing through this girl. There is no question that God is flowing through her as you see her tumbling, right? But as she outgrows old routines and old tumbling passes and takes on new challenges, God gets to express through her in a bigger way. But she had to outgrow the things that she was doing in 2012 in order to get to the things that she is doing or will do in 2020 and beyond. And so the work that she does in the gym to perfect her moves, the work that she does to keep her mental game tight, because guess what? The Olympics got moved a year. And that can make a huge difference in an athlete's life. A year, athletes peak, and sometimes somebody peaks in an Olympic year. And so it's the perfect time for them to be competing. And so they, as athletes are developing themselves, they got all these ideas in their mind about when is my peak time. And so you got to have your mental game together if you are quote unquote past your peak time. And so all of this work that she is doing is so that she is a bigger vent for the Spirit to flow through. Every time you do your best, you make yourself a bigger vent for the Spirit to flow through. The best way to say I love you, God, is to do your best. And the best way to say thank you, God, is to let go of the past and live in the present moment. That's the best way. You got to be right here, right now. Whatever life has taken away from you, let it go. I promise you that there are athletes that would have broke gold in 2020, but because the Olympics got moved to 2021 and the ideas that they are keeping in their mind, they won't carry it through to gold in 2021. Whatever life has taken from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go, what you do is you allow yourself to be fully available to the miracle of this moment. You let yourself be available to enjoy what is happening right now. If you're tied to the past, you can't even enjoy what is happening right now. If you do your best over and over again, you become a master of transformation. It is practice that makes the master. And by doing your best every day, you become a master. Everything that you have ever learned, you learn through repetition. You learn to drive a car by repetition. You learn to walk by repetition. You learn to use a computer by repetition. You learn to speak the language you speak by repetition. It is the repetitive action that makes you a master. And so if you are impeccable with your word, and if you don't take things personally, and if you refuse to make assumptions, and if you always do your best, then you shall have a beautiful life. And you will live 100% in control of your life. These 4 agreements are a summary of the mastery of transformation. Because the truth is that God put you here so that you could turn yourself back into God. God put you here so that you could turn yourself back into God. You are not here to suffer. You are here to transcend suffering and to become an embodiment of God. You are God's evidence that God is. The reward for honoring these agreements is that right where you are, right in the midst of your present circumstances, you can become the embodiment of God. If Jesus didn't need the Roman occupation to end in order for him to become the embodiment of God, you are not waiting for an oppressive regime to fall in order for you to become the embodiment of God. You are not here to end. Your goal is not the end of human ignorance. It is simply the end of ignorance in you. And so as you eradicate error thinking in your own mind, you become a light that the world can follow. You do know that the work that Jesus did not absolve you of your responsibility to become the embodiment of God. You do know that, right? His light may be the light that you are following, but it is not a replacement of your light. And so you are responsible for shining your light. You are responsible for becoming the champion that God created you to be. You got to make a decision today to come out of darkness. And I'm telling you that it ain't easy. I started this sermon by sharing that I too get impacted by the things that we see in the world. I too find myself triggered by the things that are happening around me. So the reason that you put these agreements in place and that you make them something that you live by is so that you may become consistent in opening yourself up for God to express through. There will come a time when the mastery that is being developed comes out of the darkness. And I can't tell you if, or not, I can't tell you when, because that's a matter of the work that you're doing. But I know that you're reaching for a better experience. And in that darkness, it can feel like the place where you are is impossibly immovable. And I'm saying even in that, to still be consistent with honoring the 4 agreements. And you may fall, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself. Dust yourself off, stand up, get back up again, and make the agreement again. Say, okay, I said that I wasn't going to take things personally, and I took everything personally. Okay, great. So I'm going to start over again, and I'm not going to take things personally just for today. Today, I'm not going to take things personally. The thing is, I don't have to get it right for the rest of my life. I just have to get it right for the next 24 hours. And then I can do it for another 24 hours and another 24 hours. Being consistent is really hard when there's nobody clapping for you. Being consistent is really hard when there's nobody clapping for you. But what you see in the light, the champion that's standing victorious over a seeming opponent, that happened in the dark. And no one wants to be in the dark, but it's in the darkness where champions are made. So if you break an agreement, start again tomorrow, and then again the next day. And yes, it will be difficult. This ain't easy. You know where we live in. But you're rewriting your internal programming. And if you will persist with it, that every time you take something personally, or you make an assumption, or you're not impeccable with your word, or you don't give your best, every time that happens, it's like, okay, I didn't do my best there, but I'm going to get up and do it again. Or, I really took that personally. I'm going to get better at that. But I'm not going to quit reaching for the ideal. And I promise you that one day you will look up and you will realize, I'm the last one standing. And then you put 2 hands in the air and say, I'm a champion. You say, they'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle. I'm a soldier. You kept going. You didn't quit. And you realize that, I'm a fighter like Rocky. I'll put you flat on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest. I'm stronger. Paid my dues. Can't lose. I'm going to own you. You realize that you are invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. And when they knock you down, you get back up because you're the champion. God bless you.
Be the last one standing, 2 hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. Live for the battle, I'm a soldier. Yeah, I'm a fighter like Rocky. Put you flat on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger. Pay my dues, can't lose, I'ma own you. Hey, I've been working my whole life, and now it's due. For the fame, yeah, I did it for the love of the game, yeah. And this is my chance I'm taking. All the more records I'm breaking. All you people watching on the TV, go ahead and put your bets on me. Hey, I've been waiting my whole life to see my name in light. I am invincible.
for the courage I possess through the drama. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent, the P is to persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary, cause I'm never giving up. See, they ask me how I did it, I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about her principles. Jade!
I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down and get up again. Yeah, I am the champion. Gonna know my name, can't hurt me now, can't feel the pain. I was made for this, I was born to win. Yeah, I am the champion.
It's all about who wants it the most. Surpassed all rivals.
I am the champion.
I was born to win.
I am a champion.
Fight for what we believe in.
All right, family, now is the time to set the law of giving and receiving into action for yourself.
I give in love. I give in love, love, love. All that I have and all I receive will be multiplied. I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow, flow, flow. I'm sending it out and it's coming back in. He supplies my every need.
We've made it easy for you to support Understanding Principles. You can text the word UPCHURCH to 73256 to complete your gift. You can use Cash App. Our Cash App ID is $UpChurchLA. You can also go to our website, upchurch.org. Choose the button Give Online. And finally, the mail still works. You can mail your gift to Understanding Principles, 600 West Queen Street, Inglewood, California, 90301.
I give in love. I give in love, love, love. All that I have and all I receive will be multiplied. I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow, flow, flow. I'm sending it out and it's coming back in. He supplies my every need.
Let's bless our offerings. Read along with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God. All right, let's add a declaration with that. I am in the flow. I give generously and I receive lavishly. My Father, Mother, God supplies all my needs. I am divinely supplied. All right, family. Thank you so much for your support. Let's have some announcements and then I'll be back to close this out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
You may not know what month it is, But I want to tell you, you may think that this is a regular November, and I want to tell you no. If 2020 has taught us anything, do not take anything for granted. So, for the month of November 2020, we are celebrating Worshiping in Color the entire month. And Worshiping in Color, I want to share with you, was an idea that Margaret Peterson presented to Reverend Della in 2012. And Reverend Della had been asking for ideas for fundraisers. And so she presented an idea that she brought with her, that she had seen done in a church, I believe in her home city of New Orleans. And that first year, it blew everyone away. And it has become something that we do every year. And so we figured, listen, we're virtual, we're in this pandemic, we're not canceling worshiping in color. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to expand it. And so I want to encourage you to be a part of this November worship experience. We're going to have speakers from around the country. Starting on November 1st, we've got the Reverend Charles Taylor from Universal Truth Center in Miami Gardens, Florida. On November 8th, we have the Reverend Lola Wright, who is the senior minister for the Bodhi Spiritual Center. On November 15th, we got Reverend Greg Stamper from Celebration Spiritual Center. On November 22nd, we've got the Reverend Gayla McDowell from Christ Universal Temple. We've got all kinds of tributes that are coming in, just celebrating us. This is our ninth year, and we are still going strong with this celebration. Be a part of it. Listen, you want to be a part of the live experience. This is really important because not only will we be live chatting, but after the service for a half an hour, we're going to have a meet and greet with the speaker. So you will get an opportunity to chat with them, to talk to them about whatever they said, or just, fellowship, because we all need people connection. And so I encourage you, mark your calendars, be a part of Worshiping in Color 2020. Take care. Did you enjoy today's service? Was this good? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of this worship experience. I really want to say thank you because there are a lot of people behind the scenes that make this happen. I need to say thank you to our worship team, Noriko, Chad, Daryl, Jade, Kaylin. You guys are awesome, and all the other worship team members. We love and appreciate you. I also want to say thank you to Erin Kimball, our illustrious administrative assistant. She is absolutely amazing. I want to say thank you also to Taylor Walker, who's been working behind the scenes with social media. Thank you also to the marketing team, Deidre, Marjorie, Dr. Sherri Randolph. They have been really working overtime to get ready for something that you want to be a part of, which is our virtual Halloween night. It is Upchurch's spooky Halloween game night. And I want to make sure that you're signed up. You can sign up really up until the last minute. You can come even if you don't RSVP. But what we have for you is a spooky game bucket. And we're going to be delivering them to your home or mailing them to you if you're not in the in the Los Angeles area. And so we want to make sure that we get that to you. So we really need you to sign up. Sign up. So please do that. I want to say thank you to our education department. They are teaching some amazing classes. The feedback that's coming, the things that I'm hearing, you guys are knocking it out of the park. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate you. I want to make sure I get everybody's name because the last thing I want to do is forget somebody's name. I also need to say thank you to Elizabeth Fletcher. Liz has been, oh my gosh, she's been amazing working with the young people with Smart Money, Smart Kids. By the way, these classes that we're teaching for our young people, they're contained so that they can function like drop-in classes, meaning that even if you didn't start when we started at the top of October, your little person can jump in. And here's the thing, little person means anywhere from age 5 to age 18. So this class, we've structured it so that the teenagers have their space, the little people have their space. And I'm telling you, these are amazing lessons. They're learning things like savings and patience. They're learning what debt is and what it means to spend money. I mean, these are such valuable lessons. So it is not too late for your little person to sign up. You can have them reach out. You can reach out to Aaron@upchurch.org and get them enrolled in the class. It happens every Sunday at noon via Zoom. And I know you probably think, oh, these kids are zoomed out. I promise you, this is a fun class. It's engaging. There's no homework. There's simply just information that's being shared, and it's going to benefit you and your household. I'm so glad that we are also coming to Worshiping in Color. I think we got a trailer that runs as a part of today's service so that you'll know what's happening. But it is going to be an amazing month. Starting next Sunday, we're going to have some amazing speakers. So make sure that you are here for the live experience. We'll also have a virtual meet and greet after the service. This is going to be an amazing time. So I strongly, strongly encourage you to mark November on your calendar so that you can be a part of it. All right, let us take our prayer of protection and close out. Will you read along with me? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. Family, have an absolutely blessed week. And I will see you back here next Sunday, same time, same YouTube channel. God bless.